Summer was closing in on Las Vegas when we went to see Heather Tallcliff again, at the very jail in which she'd been locked up after surrendering to U.S. Marshals. She's been here 8 months, from middle-class Europe to a 10 by 12-foot cell.
How many hours of the day are you in your cell?
23.
1 hour out.
That's right.
Back in Amsterdam, she had left not only her son, but a man named Robert Wallace. They'd been a couple for 8 years, lived as a family. But Heather knew she couldn't marry him because she didn't have a real identity, and he didn't know her past.
How do you tell somebody like Robert?
Oh, slowly. Very slowly.
Was it easy to hear? No, it was not. Robert agreed to speak to us only on condition we hide his face.
I'm trying to hide my identity from this soulless person that is still out there somewhere. I know he's a very dangerous person. I know he doesn't care about life.
But there was Robert, caring about life more than he ever had before, and the love of his life had this awful story.
I didn't believe it to begin with. I thought it was just one too many drinks or just fantasizing or something.
And so, with Robert raising her son thousands of miles away, Heather went before a judge in Las Vegas, where the prosecutor portrayed her not as Roberto Solis's brainwashed victim, but as a lifelong criminal herself. I
remember standing up in front of the judge saying, but I'm not a lifelong criminal, and I don't view myself as a criminal. I've done some pretty stupid stuff.
Stupid stuff? Stealing $3 million? Going on the lam for more than a decade? A little more than just stupid, said the prosecutor. And more than a few detractors who have heard Heather's story tend to think,
this is all an act. You're an actress. You're putting all this on. You're playing goody two-shoes. I did this for all the right reasons in order to get off easy.
Well, would I willingly put myself in prison? I mean, I didn't know. I could have been looking at 30 years' time. So is that an act? You know, who does that?
In the end, Heather took her lumps, and in a deal with the prosecution, pled guilty to 3 felonies, including using her false identity to get back into the United States to surrender. She told prosecutors she had no idea where Solis was. She was sentenced to just over 5 years in prison. And now she says she's making the best of it, staying calm in that little cell with yoga.
There will be some people who will say, hearing this sort of thing, you're not miserable enough. You're not being punished enough.
Well, I don't choose to be miserable. If I wanted to, I could very well be. This is very hard to do, to every day get up and be conscious of what I'm doing and to at least find some amount of joy in what I do have, to actually be grateful for something small as maybe my health.
But of course, she has far more than that. She has her American family again.
My prayers have been answered. You know, I've got my child back alive. And so anything from there, it's just gravy.
And back in Amsterdam, she has Dylan, and could finally tell him that his world is bigger than he thought it was.
In one letter she sent me, she told me all the addresses of all my relatives, and suddenly all these people started sending messages to me and letters.
You're part of something a lot bigger.
Yeah.
How's that?
Makes me feel big.
And how does he feel about his mother turning herself in?
It's good that she's doing this, and she's making our lives better. So it's better to get all the bad things done.
Get them out of the way.
Yeah.
And yet, they'll be apart for years.
Do you still think it was the right thing to do?
Absolutely, yes, yeah. I committed a crime, and yes, it is the right thing to do.
And on the other side of the world, a lesson in patience.
You'll have to wait for a while before you get a chance to live with her again.
Yes.
Several years.
Yeah.
Can you do that?
I can try. I have to.